Should there be, or should there not? Picture this, if you will, a vegetarian world where all meat, including beef, pork, chicken, and fish, are not available to consumers at your local market. What will you do? Will you convert and deal with the society the way it is? Or will you break the law by hunting to find your own food? Many believe that this is what will happen if Proposition B is passed in the state polls during the 2010 election. It is seen merely as a stepping stone to systematically eliminate food production in the United States according to Deeds Not Words, an article in the Frontline newspaper by an unknown author. Today, I will share my point of view of Proposition B. What is Prop B? Proposition B is a bill in Congress that has been originated to add more reinforcement to puppy mills. But what are puppy mills? This term is not clearly defined by the bill. It simply reads that Proposition B is an act to prohibit cruel and inhumane treatment to dogs in puppy mills. This is already enforced by law. Animal abuse is considered a Class A misdemeanor for the first time and a Class D felony if it occurs more than once. So why do we need the extra reinforcement now? What will this do to us in normal, everyday life? Essentially, for most people, absolutely nothing. It is basically a strengthening of past laws of cruelty to animals, which means that the enforcement will be concentrating more on seeking out these puppy mills rather than keeping the peace or taking the criminals off the streets. Proposition B also states a regulation on the amount of breeding dogs down to 50 per single owner. This means that the non-abusive and humane breeders of any dog will be heavily affected. Many large-scale breeders have multiple acres of land that they have to take care of their animals properly, to give them proper exercise, to feed them properly, house them. With the breeding of animals, sometimes the females are not ready, therefore they cannot breed year-round. Breeders that primarily depend on the sale of animals will be put to the test when the bill is enacted. Understandably, animal abuse is not a good thing by any means. But why should the average American that tries to make a living have to pay for the stupidity and irresponsibility of others? What could turn out by the passing of Proposition B in the long run? Analysts and columnists, as well as many politically involved Americans, fear the worst: government takeover of the food-producing market. Once they, as in the government and animals' rights activists, find that they can control the humane breeding of animals, they may step into the farming area and enact statutes to regulate the production of food-producing animals, such as cows, pigs, chickens, goats, just to name a few. According to a news article by Melanie Loth that is available in the Columbia Missourian webpage, if this is passed, the large-scale breeders will be considered criminals for owning more than 50 dogs, even if everything they do in the facility is humane and done correctly. Also, as the availability declines dramatically of dogs and the kennels, the price of purebred puppies will skyrocket according to the simple supply-demand relationship. In conclusion, should these regulations be enacted to help extinguish inhumane treatment to dogs in puppy mills, even if it means putting average Americans at risk of failing to make payments or simply just to survive? This was answered with a very quiet yes on November 2nd, 2010, when the ballots casted voted in favor of Proposition B. Nearly 2 million people voted, and the margin was very close, only about 60,000. Now, the worry is, what's next? Will the fears become reality? Those too young to vote, such as myself, grit their teeth as we look at the future. Only time will tell what the next challenge is. For further information of how Missouri voted and your local area voted, Google search Prop B Missouri results. The first link available will be the Missouri Secretary of State Robin Carnahan's site, which features an interactive map of Missouri broken down by county. Thank you.